With the release of Ganyu and the buff of Zhongli, I decided to make a top 5 list of the top 5 supports in Genshin. But before we get into the video, if you guys could like and subscribe for daily Genshin content, I'd really appreciate it. Before 1.3, I actually thought Zhongli was a pretty decent character. I didn't really think he needed the buffs. I saw people do insane damage with his ult before. After Zhongli got the buffs, he's been like John Wick, he literally can't die. Zhongli has become a really good burst support. I've been seeing people be able to do over like 100k with his ult due to the fact that they buffed how much it scales off his HP. It's really cool having Zhongli and co-op domains now because of that extra ult damage, and he can freeze the opponents, and you get that extra shield. So yeah, overall he's pretty cool. Zhongli's normal attacks are still pretty bad, but overall now I feel like he's a really good character.
Okay, Xingqiu.
At number 4 I put Xingqiu. Xingqiu is basically your textbook definition of a support. You can literally swap him out and still do a whole bunch of damage. If you build Xingqiu correctly, he can get his ult back to back and give you consistent hydro damage. Xingqiu with the 2-piece Heart of Depth and the 2-piece Noblissal Bleach, he can do a lot of damage with his ult without even being on the field. With this build you can do a lot of damage with its elemental skill as well. If you build Xingqiu correctly, you can do a lot of damage each sword with his Rain Cutter. Although his elemental skill's cooldown is really lengthy, the fact that he can heal is really good. It has also saved me many times in Abyss. I usually partner Xingqiu with Klee or Dillik for consistent vaporized damage. With that being said, with the consistent damage he puts with him not even being on the field is why I put him on this list. And the reason I put Ganyu at number 3 is because just like Xingqiu, she can just keep giving you consistent elemental reactions and consistent damage without even being on the field. Ganyu is so good you can use her as a support or a DPS. The choice is yours. Without Ganyu even being on the field, you can get consistent Melt, Super Conduct, Freeze. You can literally shoot at the ground with Ganyu and get cryo damage free. You can also just put in Ganyu, throw out her taunt, then switch her back out, and that also makes her elemental skill really useful. With Ganyu you can just spam burst, so she doesn't really have a cooldown, she doesn't even have to be on the field, so that's one of the reasons that she's really good support. Like Xingqiu, if you build Bennett correctly, you can get his ult back to back, which means that your team will be getting consistent buffs back to back. And the reason I put him at number 2 is because Bennett is like a Swiss Army knife. He has so many tools. He can heal, he can give you extra damage, he can give you pyro damage. Another reason why Bennett is so good is because he's so easily accessible for everybody through the gacha. And if you see most of the best teams, they usually have Bennett on them. Also, if you're able to get Bennett C1, you don't even really need a healer on your team because he can fully heal you. My best advice for if you get Bennett is to build him as fast as possible and put him on your team because he's one of the best units in the game. At number 1 I put Venti. Venti is easily the best support in the game as well as the best unit in the game. If you have Venti on your team, he literally makes the whole game easier for you. Venti's burst is great for crowd control and can do a lot of elemental reactions with Swirl. And if you build Venti correctly, he can just spam it over and over again. This makes Venti great for domains and clearing the Abyss quickly. With that being said, next banner Venti comes around, everyone will be wishing for him. With that being said, I'm at the end of the video. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment. I always reply.